Continuing coverage now, a case that's haunted Effingham County for years. 14-year-old Mary Crocker and her brother Elwin Crocker Jr. were found buried behind their family's home, and 5 relatives face charges. This week, key legal arguments played out as 3 suspects prepare to go before a jury. WSAV's Sarah Smith has been covering the hearings from the courtroom.
We want to remind you of some of the gruesome details of this case. Medical experts say the children's bodies showed signs of malnutrition and even abuse. Mary's body in particular. Her and her brother were found buried behind their home in Guyton 6 years ago. The prosecution's evidence and list of witnesses are being called into question by defense lawyers for Elwin Crocker Sr., Mark Wright, and Kimberly Wright.
There was a large variety of devices that were found. Again, cell phones, tablets, computers, hard drives, and then the content on those devices.
In court Wednesday, the defense moved to prevent the state from presenting certain evidence, including the content found on electronic devices in the home, claiming the content on shared devices shouldn't be used against Crocker during the trial.
Especially when Kim Wright, Mark Wright, Roy Prater, Candace Crocker all had equal access to those devices.
Take this laptop, for example. If I live in a home with several others and they also have access to this device, the defense is essentially saying I can't be convicted of a crime based on the content on here. The state, however, disagrees.
They're arguing that he has no knowledge of what's on the devices. That's a completely different issue.
The defense also wanting the judge to bar certain witnesses from testifying. This includes the 3rd child who was found safe in the home at the time of the alleged murders, James Crocker, who has cerebral palsy. Also the medical examiner who ruled the children's death a homicide, and a forensic anthropologist who looked over the skeletal remains. But Assistant District Attorney Matthew Breeden says these witnesses, their testimony, and the evidence they'll present is needed to help the jury come to an informed decision. So what's next in the case? We learned today that Elwin Crocker Sr. is expected back in court on June 16th. Judge Matthew Hubie expected to make some decisions on several of the motions that were discussed this week. No trial date has been set yet. In Effingham County, I'm Sarah Smith, WSAV News 3, on your side.